So I will teach you mechanism of action of cardiac glycosides, mainly digitalis. It can be digoxin, it can be digitoxin. I will call it digitalis. Let me tell you the mechanism of action. So basically, this drug is a drug which is increasing the contractility of the heart. What do you mean by contractility? I mean systole or diastole. What does they increase? They are increasing systole or they are increasing diastole? I'm asking you, people, respond. These drugs, the digitalis, they are increasing systole of the heart or diastole of the heart. Contractility mane kya? They are increasing systole. But you can't understand systole, I mean how it's increasing the contractility, unless until you don't know how normal systole and diastole occur. So before coming on the mechanism of action of digitalis, you must understand normal systole and diastole. How does normal heart systole? How does normal heart diastole? Let me tell you that. So first you see in mechanism of action, normally what happens? What I'm showing you, people, please understand. I'm showing you this cell on the next page. The cells of the left ventricle. Can you see in the left ventricular wall? Can you see these yellow cells? Appreciate this yellow cell. So this is one of the cell I'm showing you here. See, this is the cell wall, yellow color. Appreciate the yellow color cell wall. So it is one of, or you can see this cell. This is a yellow color cell. Appreciate the yellow color cell. This cell, if I show you this diagram directly, you will don't have orientation. This is a cell from where in human body? I'm talking about this is a cell of the left ventricle. This is a cell, the same diagram. This is a cell of the left ventricle, this cell. So let me magnify or zoom this cell. Okay, we are talking about this cell. So normally, how does systole and diastole occur? Have a look over here. Have a look. So you can see this diagram or see this diagram, one and the same. You can see this one directly. It's a left ventricular cell. The cardiac cell. Okay, so whenever the systole, you know, in a cardiac cycle we have systole, we have diastole. So heart do systole and diastole normally 80 to 100 in 100 time in 1 minute. So what happens during systole? During systole, how does the cell contract? This cell is contracting. Can you see these cells? These cells are contracting during systole, and during diastole they are relaxing. So all the cells contract together, so complete wall is contracting. All the cells are relaxed together, so complete wall is dilating. That is systole and diastole. But how each cell is contracting and relaxing, that we have to understand systole and diastole. So when the wave of polarization is coming, you know, this is pacemaker. We are having the pacemaker over here. So from the pacemaker, the wave of depolarization comes over here. The wave of depolarization is coming. When that wave of depolarization is coming, at that time only systole is occurring. So as soon as the wave of depolarization occurs, there is calcium channel present on this cell. On all these yellow cells, the calcium channel is present. That will get open with the wave of depolarization. The calcium channel will open. When the calcium channel will open, a little bit calcium, 1% of the calcium, a little bit calcium goes inside the cell. Little bit. Normally, the cell in the cytoplasm, there is zero calcium, no calcium. A little bit of calcium is going, only a little bit, a minor percentage is going. That minor percentage is going to the endoplasmic reticulum of the cell. Endoplasmic reticulum is known as sarcoplasmic reticulum. Sarcoplasmic reticulum or endoplasmic reticulum. This cell, the heart cell, the left ventricle cell, the cardiac cell, is having the endoplasmic reticulum. So this calcium is moving to the endoplasmic reticulum of this cell, and on the endoplasmic reticulum, these receptors are present. RYR, Reynoldian calcium receptors, RYR, interacting with RYR receptor, stimulating the RYR receptor. Once the RYR receptor gets stimulated, it contains abundant of calcium. All the calcium will come out. So 99% calcium comes intracellularly. So all the calcium is in the cytoplasm now. Okay, 1% is coming from outside, from the calcium channel with the wave of depolarization. The remaining 99% is coming from the intracellular store. It is coming from the intracellular store, that is sarcoplasmic reticulum or endoplasmic reticulum. From this store, the maximum calcium is coming out. It is released over here. You are getting my point? So calcium will come. So all the calcium will combine. 1% this and 99%. So total 100% calcium. You can see. So it will trigger the release of large amount of calcium which is present in sarcoplasmic reticulum. So in the cytoplasm, abundant amount of calcium is there. Abundant amount of calcium. That will go to troponin, and that will cause the contraction of troponin and myosin. Can you see? It will go to the troponin, and actin and myosin will contract. And this is how this cell will contract. This cell will contract. Contract means systole. So contraction of this cell, which is known as systole. Systole is done. But systole cannot be forever. Now we have to do diastole. Why systole occur? When 100% calcium is present, it is causing contraction of actin and myosin by activating troponin. Troponin get activated and it will cause activation contraction of actin and myosin. When actin myosin contract, this cell is contracting and it is leading to systole. Now for doing diastole, we have to take calcium out again. We have to do zero calcium. If there is zero calcium, again it will be dilating, it will be relaxing. So how there will be zero calcium? It is 100% calcium now. So 99% calcium, which is given by sarcoplasmic reticulum out of 100, it will take the same amount of calcium. Out of 100%, 99% is given by endoplasmic reticulum. That will be taken back by the endoplasmic reticulum. You are getting my point? So with the help of a receptor known as SERCA, it was coming out via RYR and it is going back via SERCA. What is the full form of SERCA? Sarcoplasmic endoplasmic reticular calcium ATPase. You can see sarcoplasmic and sarcoplasmic endoplasmic reticular calcium ATPase. So this SERCA. So via this SERCA, the 99% calcium will go back. Whatever given by the RYR is taken back by the SERCA. I mean to say that whatever given by the RYR 99%, the same 99% given by the SERCA हमारा हमको वापस दे दो. But what about the 1%? What about the 1%? That will create a mess over here. What about the 1% which was coming out, which was coming inside from the calcium channel? Okay, from this calcium channel, this 1% was coming. Yes or no? So there is another channel, another transporter present on the heart cell, which is known as sodium calcium exchanger. Okay, you can see here is sodium calcium exchanger. This 1% calcium will go outside. Okay, in exchange of that, sodium will come. So this 1% calcium is asking this exchanger, can you take me out? My job is done. I have already done the systole. Now I want to go out. Can you take me out? This exchanger is saying, yes, I can take it out. But in exchange of you, I will take sodium inside. So sodium is coming inside. This is gone outside. Once it is gone outside, diastole is there. But what about the sodium, which is coming in exchange? So we have a third transporter. To manage the sodium, the third transporter. The name of this transporter is sodium potassium exchanger. So whatever sodium coming in, it will go out. And in exchange of that, potassium will come. And potassium will remain there only. How many of you got it? And this is how the diastole occur. Because calcium is zero now. This is how diastole occur. Now read the complete story. I will show you again. But read the complete story. Shall I explain you first? So first you appreciate how systole occur and how diastole occur in a normal heart. How systole and diastole are occurring in a normal heart. Then I will be explaining you the mechanism of action of digitalis. That is causing digitalis or cardiac glycoside, that is causing the exaggeration of the systole. That is inotropic drug. So please understand, just a second. You can see this is a heart cell I am drawing here. This is a heart cell. Now when the wave of depolarization is coming, at that time the calcium channel present over here get activated. From this calcium channel, 1% of the calcium will go inside, a little bit of calcium. This calcium after going inside will go to sarcoplasmic reticulum. On the sarcoplasmic reticulum, two receptors are present. One is RYR, Reynolden receptor, and one is SERCA. SERCA2 receptors, SERCA receptors. So this calcium which is going inside, it will activate the RYR receptor. Once the RYR receptor get activated, the calcium present inside the sarcoplasmic reticulum, it will come out. It is abundant calcium. Now this calcium and this calcium will combine together. So there is 100% calcium, so much calcium. And that will go and activate the troponin. That will go and activate the troponin. Troponin will get activated. It will activate the actin myosin. Once the actin myosin will contract, the cell will contract. And this is how systole occur. The systole is over. Now for diastole, we have to take all the calcium out again. We have to take all the calcium out again. So we have two sources of calcium. What are the two sources of calcium? 1% was coming from outside and 99% was coming from the sarcoplasmic reticulum. Whatever 99% coming from the sarcoplasmic reticulum, that will go back from the SERCA, via SERCA. Whatever was coming via RYR, it is going back via SERCA. So 99% is over. It's gone back. But what about this 1%? This 1%, how does it will leave? It cannot go out from this calcium channel. It was only coming. How it will go out? So there is another transporter. The name of that transporter is sodium calcium exchange. So this will go to that transporter and ask, can you take me out? My job is done. So this transporter say, yes, I will take you out, but in exchange of you, I will take the sodium in. Okay, what about the sodium? What will happen to the sodium? We have third transporter to manage the sodium. The sodium will go out. In an exchange of that, potassium will come in. Okay, so this is the transporter. How many of you got it? People say. So this is the complete, and when the complete calcium is out, the diastole will happen. Now, what does the cardiac glycoside will do? Cardiac glycoside that is digitalis block this sodium potassium transporter. What will happen now? What will happen now? You tell me what will happen. So when this transporter is blocked, the sodium potassium transporter is completely blocked. Now when the vein of depolarization is coming, it is stimulating the calcium. 1% calcium is going inside, it is going to RYR, it is stimulating RYR. 99% calcium more is coming out, both the calcium combining together, activating the troponin, activating the actin myosin complex, and it is doing the contraction. So contraction is normal, like as usual, even in presence of digoxin. Contraction is normal. But for doing relaxation, the 99% calcium will go back via Sarka. There is no problem in that. Okay, what about 1% calcium? That 1% calcium will come and request, can you take me out? Request this transporter. This time this transporter is saying no. No, I will not take you out. Why? The calcium is asking why you are not taking me out. I will go out in place of me. The sodium will come. You manage the sodium. This is saying no, I cannot manage the sodium. If I take you out in your place, sodium will come, and this transporter is already blocked. So there is already high concentration of sodium in this cell. I cannot take more sodium inside this cell. So this transporter will not work. It will not take 1% calcium out, and that 1% calcium is trapped inside the cell. That will again and again go and stimulate the RYR. So this cell constantly contract, and that is how the contractility is increased. And that is how it's a inotropic drug. It was difficult, people, but please do appreciate. Say something, but respond. You got it or you didn't got it. I told you the mechanism of action of cardiac glycosides, that is digitalis. First, you understand normally. First, you write down this flowchart and understand it. If you understand it, then I will explain you the mechanism of action of digitalis. I will show you the flowchart. So normally, when the wave of depolarization is coming, the calcium ions, little bit calcium ion, enters via calcium channel. That will go to RYR on the sarcoplasmic reticulum. That will trigger large amount of calcium from the sarcoplasmic reticulum. Both the calcium combined. So there is increased calcium in the cytoplasm transiently. That will activate to troponin. That will activate to actin myosin, and that will do the contraction. That will do the contraction of cardiomyocyte. And this is how systoles take place. Systole is done. Systole is done. Now we want to do diastole. So as soon as systole is done, Sarka get activated. Sarka will say whatever given by RYR, give it back to me. 99%. We don't go on the percentage. This 1 and 99 are hypothetical percentage. I don't know the exact, but little amount or large amount we say. So whatever amount given by the RYR is taken back by the Sarkar. हमारा हमको वापस दे दो. So Sarka will take the large amount of calcium, 99% back. But what about the 1% calcium? So most of the calcium go back to sarcoplasmic reticulum. Okay, endoplasmic reticulum. But a little fraction, 1%, equal to what have entered via depolarization. That percentage. Don't say the percentage. I'm saying say little word. The exact amount which is entering via depolarization. How it will be balanced? It will be balanced via going out in exchange of sodium. So it will go out in exchange of that. Sodium will come. This is known as sodium calcium exchanger. Sodium calcium exchanger. It will take the calcium out, 1% calcium out, and in exchange of that, it will take the sodium. But how the sodium we will manage? We will manage the sodium via sodium potassium exchanger. We have another exchanger, sodium potassium. This is sodium calcium exchanger. This is sodium potassium exchanger. So sodium will exit and potassium will come. So 100% calcium is relieved, and this is how diastole will occur. Anyone have any confusion? Got it? So same diagram. You want this diagram, you can draw this. You want this diagram. Now, how does digitalis work? This was normal. Digitalis blocks sodium potassium ATPase. It will block sodium potassium ATPase. This is blocked. Okay. Now the wave of depolarization will come. During the wave of depolarization, this will get activated. 1% calcium come in. It will activate the RYR. So 99 more percent calcium come in. All the calcium combined together, 100% calcium will cause contraction. Actin myosin contraction. Okay, contraction is over. Now, Sarka will get activated. Sarka will take back the calcium given by the RYR. But 1% calcium is still there that want to go out. That 1% calcium will ask, sodium calcium exchanger, will you take me out? It's saying yes. It's no, this time it's saying no, I cannot take you out because it is already high concentration of sodium. If I take you out, we have to take sodium, but sodium cannot be managed because this is blocked by digitalis. This is blocked. So you have to write down like this. It is blocking sodium potassium ATPase. So sodium will not exit because sodium potassium exchanger is not working. So there is increased intracellular concentration of sodium. Okay, so this exchanger is not working. Since this exchanger is not working, so this exchanger is not working. Two exchanger are there, na? this exchanger is not working. So that's why this will not also not work. You got my point? We are blocking sodium potassium exchanger via digitalis. So intracellular concentration of sodium is more. Since intracellular concentration of sodium is more, sodium calcium exchanger will not work. So this exchanger will not work. So 1% calcium is trapped. It is trapped in the cell. It will again and again go and stimulate sarcoplasmic reticulum. And again it will activate troponin. Again and again it will cause actin myosin contraction, and contractility will increase. I hope you got it. Yes, thank you, Shreyash. I hope you got it, but you should be able to draw this in your exam. The diagram also, the flowchart also. Okay, I am talking about these yellow cells. These yellow cells, how they are doing contraction, how they are doing relaxation. First we have understood normally. And if I give digitalis block sodium potassium exchanger on their cell membrane. So they will keep on contracting only. They will not relax or relax very lately. And this is how it is increasing the contractility of the left ventricle. Okay, so this is the mechanism of action of digitalis. So don't write it directly. If you have less time in exam, you can write it directly. But if you have time, I prefer write down first normal systole and diastole. So first in mechanism, if mechanism of action is asked, draw two flowchart. One flowchart normal, in which shows how systole occur, how diastole occur. And then draw the mechanism of action of digitalis. Okay, digitalis increasing systole, not diastole. You should be able to explain how it is increasing the systole and how it is a inotropic drug. Got it?
Hello everyone. I hope you found this concept clear and easy to understand. If you would like to dive deeper into this topic and master it with full-length lectures, you can subscribe my app, that is MedLife by Dr. Priyanka. So join me for the live sessions where we break down the complex topics in a way that makes them simple and high yield for exams. See you inside.